Actually, this is a video that some of our students made. And I'm also going to show you a few other resources. We are videotaping this for students that aren't able to be here. We also have about 6 students that will be joining the trip from Dixie State. So we want to videotape that if that's okay with you guys. If you're asking a question, if you don't mind, if you're on camera, that would be great. So welcome, welcome. I'm so excited you're signing up for this trip. Actually watching the video, I was like, oh, I want to go so bad. Casey Lavoie is going to be going with you. She and her sister are going to be your chaperones. Her sister's an employee of the University of Utah, and so they'll be chaperoning this trip and making sure you don't kill yourselves. That's kind of their job, is just to make sure you don't kill yourselves. You're going to be going with Solid Rock International. Solid Rock International has a website. I hope all of you will explore their website. You do need to go onto their website to register for the trip. You go under missions and register for your mission. Who has not done this?
I think everybody in here has.
Everybody has. Okay, you got to make sure that you register with them on their website. Okay, they need this done ASAP, right away. Okay? And we'll go back to their website in just a little bit. Additionally, there is some paperwork that you need to provide to us, and that includes copies of your immunizations, copies of your passport, some forms that SUU requires. We have to have those, as we have to have those into our Global Engagement Center about a month before the trip is released. SUU has some very strict policies about international trips, and so all that paperwork has to be in, or the whole trip gets stuck. So if you have not got that paper in, and we start really hounding you for it, you need to understand why we're hounding you for it. It can hold up the whole trip. In fact, we have had students who've lost their seat on this trip because they have not complied with the deadlines that we've had. So don't risk losing that money that you have worked really hard to generate for this trip. So get all your forms in time.
Which is
Casey,
Friday.
any questions about the forms? Friday? Yes.
Friday.
Do you guys have a list of forms?
So I sent them to everybody in like that original email, the confirmation email that says thank you for paying your deposit, stuff like that. All the forms are attached there. I especially need everyone's passport by Friday. If there's certain flu shots or whatever that you don't have in time, that's fine, but I need your passports because the airline needs all of your information by Monday. I have to submit that or you're not going to have a seat. So we have to do that for tickets. So if you haven't gotten me that stuff yet, I need it all by Friday. And if you come and talk to me, I know why your stuff's not there, but you need to let me know if you're not going to have it in by Friday.
Yeah. We do suggest that you look into your health insurance. We've had some students who've had glitches with their health insurance. You do have to prove to us that you have health insurance. But Casey either has or will send you.
I've sent them that. That's also in the confirmation email about SU's international insurance, which is $50. If your insurance covers you internationally, we still suggest that you buy it because you're going to have to pay a ton of money if something does happen. And things have happened, so.
Yeah, so it's this $50 card. You go online and buy that from SUU. And what it does is it acts, even if you have a high deductible plan, so I'll give you a situation. We had a student who got sick on the way back from the trip, so even when we pit stopped in Miami, the student had to go to the hospital. And he was out about $3,000 because his parents' deductible was $4,000. So they had to pay that out of pocket. His mom had to fly in to get him even. So things happen. You want to make sure you're not going to cost your family a ton of extra money or yourself a ton of extra money. So this $50 insurance card is a really good way of protecting yourself. You still pay out of pocket, but then you get reimbursed from this insurance company. So it's not something you're going to show your insurance card and not have to pay. You do have to still pay out of pocket, but you will get reimbursed. Mind you that we are with physicians the whole trip. So I always tell students this is one of the safest trips you ever could be at. I was on one of these trips when one of our students took ill, had to stay back at the guest house. The doctors, did visits to her room, got her medicine just to make sure she was okay. Was also on this trip when somebody went into anaphylactic shock. They had EpiPens right there before we could even go get the student's EpiPen. So you're with physicians, you're with people that deal with medical emergencies all the time. Just on our Panama trip over spring break, we had a student who was sitting there watching dental, and she, with the heat and everything, she just fell over, passed out, fell on the floor, scraped up the side of her head, and a mild concussion, but within seconds, 2 doctors were right there with her. So it's a very safe trip from that point of view, and we want you to stay as safe as possible as well on this trip. Bless you. We also have a Facebook page. Please get on the Facebook page. I will friend all of you, okay? So you're going to go, why is Rita friending me? And then I will put you on this page. You will see this is how people communicate. We'll put some pictures on this page. You guys may also start a page of, a Google Doc to share pictures, but this trip is bigger than just you, okay? This trip is about everybody who's ever gone on a Dominican Republic trip. This is about donors to SUU. This is about the people down at Solid Rock. As you can see, there are countless people on this page, 240 people on this page. So even though you may do a Google shared doc, this is bigger than you. And so that's why I would ask that you share pictures on this page when you can. Let people know how we're doing. Many of you may have received a scholarship for this trip. The donors for those scholarships are on this page. So we really want to share what you're doing down there with more than just you. So I want you to think not so insularly. This is also a place to, ask questions at the last minute. This was the day of the trip. Hey guys, I have to take an early shuttle, get to the airport. If anybody wants to meet up, we put reminders on here, things like that. So let us make sure you're on here so that we can communicate with you. Okay? Let's see. I'm gonna go to, as we mentioned before, we were showing some videos, and Casey will email you some of those videos you can share with your family. I also want to share with you on the Solid Rock webpage, you should share this page with the people that you know and love. If there is an emergency and your family needs to reach you, this is the best place for them to find you. Just go to contact us right up there, and guess what? They're going to give you some phone numbers, okay? There is a phone number right there. Solid Rock is based in Indianapolis, Indiana. However, all of the staff down in Santo Domingo have phones that work. And so if your family member needed to reach you, they would call this number, and within seconds they would be connected to the staff who are going to be with you 24/7. Okay? So you can let your family know in an emergency. Cell phones work on and off down there. Please be cautious about your cell phone carrier. You can incur a lot of extra costs if you're checking your text messages, if you don't have your plane in airplane mode, if you are using your Wi-Fi. The guest house does have a router. It works some of the time it doesn't. So also tell your family and friends, you're going to unplug for a week. It's really good for you to unplug for a week. Okay, it's a healthy thing for you to do, to be in the moment. We even have a policy that says, there's certain times that are appropriate to use your devices and certain times that are not appropriate to use your devices. If you're in the guest house having meals together, and be in the moment, be mindful about where you are and the people you are instead of on your device. Okay, and I would hate for Casey to have to remind you of that, but she will if she needs to. Let's go through the itinerary of exactly how this trip is going to unfold. So we're going to have a couple of meetings ahead of time that we're going to talk about your health and safety. We're going to talk about the Days for Girls project that you'll be delivering while you're down there, and then we'll be having a packing party. So today we want to talk about the itinerary and just so you understand how things are going to unfold. We will be emailing you a packing list, and then we'll be talking today a little bit about the things that you want to make sure that you bring. So we've already bought the tickets. We're going to be flying on American Airlines. Have they been sent the flight
Everybody got the
times?
email about the flight times and stuff, right?
Yep, Vegas
Okay.
to Philly, and then to Santo Domingo, which is the capital of the Dominican Republic, and then from back to the Dominican Republic through Miami, back to Vegas. Okay, so it's your responsibility to get transportation to and from Vegas. Many of you may be heading off somewhere at the end of this trip. You may be going home or doing something else. So it is your responsibility to get a ride to the airport and from the airport. We're going to be leaving on Friday evening late. It's a red-eye flight, so be prepared for a red-eye flight. We want to be at the airport by 8 o'clock.
Yes, because the
8
flight
o'clock
leaves at
PM.
11:01 or 11:06.
Yeah,
something
and
like that.
so you're going to arrive at the airport no later than 8 o'clock p.m. If you are there much later, Casey's going to be on the phone finding out where you are. Make sure if you are going to be parking in Vegas that you've got adequate arrangements. The St. George shuttle runs right to the Vegas airport.
And don't check in. Go to
Yes,
American Airlines,
don't.
but don't check in.
Right,
until
you're going to
we're all
meet
there.
right out front of the ticket counter. Do not check in, do not check in, do not check in. We want to make sure that all of our bags are equally weighted. And so if you have more donations than your bag will carry, then we'll put some of your donations in someone else's bags. Because we're going to the Dominican Republic, they have a very strict policy on what we're allowed to bring in. So we are asking you to bring some vitamins, some acetaminophen, ibuprofen, things like that. But we're going to equally distribute that amongst everybody's personal luggage, so it does not look like we're bringing in a whole bunch of meds for resale. That's what the people at the airport think. They don't get that we're working with a charitable organization. We're not even going to say we're working with a charitable organization because the Dominican Republic government is a little bit corrupt, I hate to say. And so we're going to be going through customs when we go to the DR in groups of 2 or 3, like you're there on a personal trip, okay?
Yeah, no, Nicole called me yesterday from Solid Rock and she said to make sure nobody has any matching t-shirts.
Right.
Don't wear anything that shows that you're a medical student.
Yep.
You know, don't say that you're going on a medical mission trip. I did send an email again about the donations because she called to clarify. So the only thing that we're not bringing any of those medications on that list that I originally sent, which is on their website, just the vitamins, prenatals, and then the stuff that Rita listed, that's it. And then some people asked about bringing, you know, other stuff for kids.
Other
We've had
donations.
students bring dolls, and as long as it's not used soap, lotion, things like that, that's fine. She just said stuff will have to go in everyone's personal bag, so it doesn't look like because we're not going through public health, we're just going to bring stuff. So
Yep.
we
So you
have
want to
be careful
intermix your
about that.
clothes and things like that with your donations. So we would ask that you bring one checked bag, okay, and you will have to pay $25 to check that
Yeah,
bag.
I think it's about 30 for
30
American Airlines.
to check the bag.
But you'll want to bring your personal bag that can fit in the overhead compartment, so a suitcase with your actual,
Yep.
you know, other
So
stuff
you're going to
in
bring a
it.
checked bag, a carry-on bag, and a backpack. Okay, does that make sense? So that's pretty much what you want to bring. Make sure that all liquid toiletries over 3 ounces go in that checked bag because you can't take those in your carry-on. Make sure if you have any essential medications, things like that, that goes in your carry-on with you. But then we'll divide your donations between your carry-on and your checked bag.
Yeah, so depending on how many donations we have, not everybody may have to check the bag. We may not
Yeah.
have enough.
So we'll have plenty. We should have plenty of donations. So
Yeah.
is anybody connected with Happy Factory? Anybody want to be the one that goes to get Happy Factory toys for us? Raise your hand quickly. Okay, you're going to be. Well, you're already doing dental. That's okay. You're going to go get a box of Happy Factory toys for their SUU, Rural Health Scholars, Dominican Republic. Bring them back to the office. Y'all come pick up a few and stick them in your bag. Who is connected with Days for Girls? Who wants to be connected with Days for Girls? Okay, the 2 of you are going to grab 200 Days for Girls kits. I would prefer that you get them from St. George or talk to the Dixie people to get those.
Yeah, I've never done that before, so I don't know where.
So check
they
with
get them.
Casey. I'll give her instructions on the Days for Girls. We will do a training in here about the Days for Girls program. Days for Girls is a sustainable feminine hygiene kit that we take down and instruct in, and we'll do a class, a training about that. Then we would love for you to get some toothbrushes and toothpastes from dentists. You could go into any dental office and ask for toothbrushes and toothpastes. In the Dominican Republic, a family will share a toothbrush for a whole year. So, I know. So, the other thing we would love to have are some personal hygiene kits. You can get those in many different ways. You can get some from samples from hotels. You can get, soaps, things like that. LDS Social Services has some humanitarian services has kits. So I want you to stretch in your thinking about what you're getting for donations. Yes?
I was gonna say I could do that.
Okay, why don't you do that instead? It is for girls, and we'll get some, and we'll do that. We do not want used clothing. You will see the abuse of the used clothing industry when you go to developing countries. Unfortunately, when you give your used disposable t-shirts and clothes, and we have a disposable clothing market in the United States where everything comes from China and is not used more than a few months, and then you dispose of it and you give it to a charity like Salvation Army or DI. Guess where those clothes end up? They get sold on a black market to vendors who sell them in developing countries. When you guys go and do a tour of the market, you will see bags of these things, and we do not want to contribute to this industry. Make sense? Okay. The other really cool donation to take down there would be baseball mitts and baseball equipment. How many of you know about the Dominican baseball pipeline? Every team in the U.S. has a Dominican player on it. And so for the Dominican youth, baseball is a big deal. So if each of you could bring a glove or two, search out a baseball glove, search out some bats, that would be fantastic. One of our staff down there has kind of a farm team of junior high kids, and you might even get the chance to play baseball one of the evenings that we're down there, which is a lot of fun. So other questions about donations, if you come across something that you would like to bring, talk with Casey or I and let's see if it's appropriate, okay, to take down there.
So for like the email we got about what vitamins and prenatals and those pills.
Yep.
For like the 1,000 and the 500, is that like how many we need?
Yes.
Of those?
Yeah.
So she said it ends up being, I don't know, she said it's probably like 3 or 4 vitamins, like
Per person.
yeah.
Yeah, per person.
Yeah.
Yep. You can go to Walmart, you can go to Walgreens, you can do a GoFundMe account, you can get cash. If you get cash donations, let us know. They can make the check out to SUU, bring it to Casey, we'll deposit it, we'll buy the stuff for you. If you also want thank you letters for the people who are donating, let us know, and if they want to take it as a tax credit or so, they can. So if somebody's donating a lot of money, we're certainly happy to give them a thank you letter, or you can come in the office, get a ton of these thank you letters. Okay. So, meeting at the airport, then we hop on the flight. It's a late night flight. Airplanes are cold. Make sure you got some warm clothing on you for this flight. We have a quick layover in Philly. We'll be racing to the gate. Food is a big issue. Airport food is expensive. So I recommend that you pre-plan. If you need to bring food with you to sustain you through an overnight flight. And because we have no guarantee that in Philly you'll be able to grab something, okay? If you are, it's probably going to be expensive. You are responsible for those expenses on the way there. So then we land in Santo Domingo about noonish or so on the morning of Saturday. And Solid Rock will be there to pick us up. So from that point on, we'll be in Solid Rock's care. We'll load all our bags into their buses, and they will take us to a guest house where we will, in Santo Domingo. It's not the guest house you'll be staying at. We'll just be there one night. They will feed us. They will, you'll have a pool available to you. You'll be exhausted. You might crash. You might just go to the pool, hang out, relax a little bit. The next morning, they will have breakfast for us. We'll pack up, and then we'll be leaving for a 3-hour bus ride to San Juan de la Maguana, which is where you'll be staying for the whole week. That day, you'll be unloading all the donations, and that afternoon, you'll get into your rooms, unpack a little bit, have lunch, and then that afternoon will be spent doing training and getting ready for the next day's clinic. So you'll be packaging up medications in small doses to give out to patients, getting everything ready, okay? Monday morning starts bright and early at 7 a.m. with breakfast, you'll wear scrub tops and bottoms for the 4 clinic days, which are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We would ask you have at least one red RHS scrub top. You can buy that online. And Casey will let you know which day we all will wear RHS scrub tops because we like to get some pictures of us as a group, things like that. The rest of the days you can wear any scrub tops you want. You can wear any scrub bottoms you want. Don't spend a ton of money in this. There are even scrub tops and bottoms down at the guest house if you want to use theirs. So don't go spending a lot of money. But for 4 days, you will be wearing scrubs to clinic each day. The beautiful thing about Solid Rock International is every day they will do your laundry if you want. It's so cool. So you really only have to bring 2 sets of scrubs if you want them to be washed by the Solid Rock staff. And then they'll be out in the cabana for you to pick up at the end of the day, which is really nice. So you have to bring less stuff. On the other days, you want to make sure that you're wearing, you know, just casual clothes. Solid Rock is a Christian organization, and so we would ask that your clothes be a little modest. No hoochie mama shorts and no string kind of tank toppy things. Sleeveless tops are just fine, not a problem. But remember that they are a Christian organization. That leads us to the culture of Solid Rock as well. It is a Christian organization. They will have prayer before meals. They have a devotion every morning. At the clinic day, you'll have the chance to go on home visits with some of the medical staff along with Pastor Enal. Pastor Enal may ask you on those home visits if you'd like to pray for a patient. If that's not your cup of tea, that is totally fine. You can say no thank you. Okay, don't feel pressured into that situation if that's not your thing. But if you do want to pray for that patient, feel free to be able to do that. We do offer Solid Rock as a Christian organization that we travel with, but then on our spring breaks we also travel with Global Medical Training, a secular organization. So clinic days, you hop on the bus, you pack up all your stuff. There will be breakfast in the morning. You will pack sack lunches. Sack lunches consist of usually peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or mystery meat and cheese sandwiches. Mystery meat because it's some ham kind of thing, if they have ham, and then some packaged cookies, maybe a banana. If that's not adequate for your lunch, I recommend you bring something else. I personally bring little packets of tuna fish and almonds because I don't like a lot of gluten and I don't like to be eating sugar all day long. So I bring my own food. If you're a large eater, you may want to pack some power bars, some cloak bars, things like that to give you some protein and nutrition. They will provide us with fresh water the whole trip as long as you do not lose your water bottle and you fill from their vessels. You will not be using water out of the tap to even brush your teeth with. And we'll be talking about that later when we do our safety presentation. So 4 days of clinic. In the evenings, we'll have an activity that you can participate in. Usually, we do a lot of games, playing games in the evenings, things like that. Then they will one night go out for dinner to a Dominican restaurant. You will also have the opportunity to sponsor a child down there if you would like to. And then Thursday night, you get a chance to meet your child. Kind of like that, you know, the TV ads about sponsoring a child, but Solid Rock does that because they have some private schools down there. And that's up to you. If you want to sponsor a child, you will get to meet that child. It's about $30 a month to sponsor a child. Let's see, what else? Then Friday morning, you pack up your bags. If you've brought a checked suitcase that you want to leave down there, you can, and just carry back your stuff in your carry-on bag and your backpack bag. That's totally fine. And you can leave that suitcase down there. They will make sure it's reused or given to somebody else. We will drive back to the Capitol. We'll have a little bit of free time in the Colonial Zone where you can buy some souvenirs, things like that. And then we'll go to a hotel. You can have a free night that night. There's a pool there. And then the next morning, we'll get ready and go to the airport to fly back home. At Customs in Miami, if you have checked bags, you will have to retrieve your checked bag and recheck it. It's a little bit of a tedious process. If any of you have not gone through Customs, it is a little bit tedious. but that's kind of what it looks like. Then you'll get to Las Vegas, grab your bags, and you're on your own to go home. It is late night. I would caution you about driving late night. Be safe. If you need to spend the night in Vegas, find a hotel to stay at or something like that.
What night is that again?
Saturday, May 18th.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's talk about packing list. Casey's going to be sending you a packing list. Some of the things you might want to be really careful about bringing. Your electronics, things will all plug in down there. They use the same outlet, so you don't have to have a specific type of outlet for anything. Scrubs is really important, although they will have scrubs down there. Make sure you have one of our scrub tops. You will be taking cold showers, unfortunately. If you're a person that has to shower in the morning, the showers are cold in the morning. So I also recommend that you shower in the afternoon, bring a lot of wet wipes. Wet wipes are also helpful during the day while you're at your clinic settings because you will not have running water during the day at all. Bring hand sanitizer to use, but then also because you've been putting hand sanitizer on all morning, it's kind of nice to use a wet wipe to wash your hands off for lunch. Make sure you bring tissues. You may have to go to the bathroom one of our clinic days, and it is very, very rural, rustic. It might be just a hole in the ground, okay? Bring your own tissues, okay? Word to the wise.
It will be really hot though, so
It's gonna
cold
be-
showers will probably be okay.
Cold showers are
very
great.
humid.
Yep.
So
Hot
if you're not
and
used to
humid.
humidity, be prepared.
Yep. I bring one of those frog towels with me. I always have one of those because you can wet it and cool yourself off really well. We were just in Panama over spring break. We had a couple students that had heat exhaustion. Hydrate, 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 hydrate. The student last December who ended up in the hospital, lack of hydration, contributed to the situation. So hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Casey will be reminding you. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. That's her job. Is make sure you don't die on us or get sick. Okay. We will pack some Imodium. If you do get sick, let us know. Let us know right away. We'll be talking about that in our health and safety presentation as well. Shower shoes. You may want to bring some slip-on shower shoes for the showers. At clinic day, closed-toed shoes. Tennis shoes usually appropriate. You cannot wear sandals out to the clinics, so closed-toed shoes most of the time. Things are not as, pristine as we would find here, so you'll have things you'll have to step over. What else in terms of packing lists, packing stuff? Less is more. Remember, they're going to do your laundry for you, so that's pretty good. They provide sheets, they provide towels for you, unless you want to bring your own. Every place you stay will have sheets and towels that you can use, so you don't have to bring anything like that if you don't want to. Medication, bring your own personal medication in your bag. We'll be talking about that at the health and safety presentation.
Does
What else?
anybody have any dietary restrictions, like peanut butter allergies or gluten or anything like that? No? Okay.
Yeah, if you do, the guest house is happy to accommodate every
Yeah, we just
meal.
need to know ahead of time.
Every
So.
meal they provide will have lots of options. Usually you'll have lots of fruits and vegetables available. The salad they provide at the guest house is safe to eat. They will have usually rice and beans, a lot of rice and beans, sometimes some meat, but plenty of food. Should be plenty for you. Souvenirs are often very fun down there. Monday night at the guest house, they will bring in some local vendors. Local vendors are really cool because San Juan de Maguana is very far removed from the capital. And so if you feel like you want to buy things there, you can. There's a jewelry called Larimar that is only mined about a mile square in the Dominican Republic, and there's a local vendor that sells Larimar. It's a really nice gift, about $40 to $50 per piece, but that's really fun to buy as a gift. They will also bring in a tailor. So when I was there in December, we had 4 or 5 of our students actually had suits made. So a suit is like $150 to have made. I typically get a dress made when I'm down there. He will come in on Monday night, measure you up, My slick trick is I always have like a sundress that I like, and I take it down there and I just say, make me one of these in this fabric, and so I don't have to spend time getting measured each time. But if you have a picture of something that you'd like made by the tailor, he's happy to make it for you. A sundress is about $30 to $50, depending on how complicated it is. Shirts, ties, you can do it all. It's kind of fun. There's also a painter that comes in. We've had some students who brought a picture on their phone and asked him to paint that picture for a gift for someone. So that's really cool. Those are some local gifts that you can buy at the guest house. And then in Santo Domingo, on the last day, you'll have a chance to buy the touristy things made in China. This says I heart Dominican Republic. And some other stuff when we go back that direction. They also sell coffee down there. They have some organic coffee for sale at the guest house. That's really wonderful. If you or someone you know drinks coffee, you can buy some of their organic coffee to buy. What else would you like to know about this trip? Gotta have some questions.
So do they take like American dollars down there?
Yeah, so on Monday night, they'll also exchange your money for Dominican pesos. You may not want to exchange many because there's not much you're gonna buy. You may wanna walk and go get ice cream in the afternoon into town, you can go do that, but I would not exchange a lot because it's hard to exchange them back. Solid Rock will not exchange them back for you, so maybe $10 or $20, but even in Santo Domingo, they will take dollars. Yeah, but you do have a chance to exchange your things. We will be taking copies of your passports because at the guest house that we're at and the hotel, we'll be giving copies of your passports to the hotel front desk folks to expedite the check-in process at both of those. So we will be making copies in advance of your stuff. Clinic procedures, things like that are on this webpage, and we will be printing these out for you guys to read on the plane. So resources for mission attendees is right here if you want to go ahead and read it. We'll be printing these out, like I said. All of these manuals, the Barrio Clinic manuals is what you want to be looking at. You will not be doing surgery on this trip, but we'll be printing those out. I also want to share with you some important information about trips like this. You as a pre-health student are only allowed to do certain things. So I would not expect a pre-med student to come back and say, I did heart surgery on a trip to the Dominican Republic, okay? The AMA, American Medical Association, has guidelines for pre-med students. You will be given those guidelines to read. If you're a pre-dental or working in the dental clinic, which all of you will get a chance to rotate in the dental clinic, you will be given guidelines by the American Dental Association that says pre-dental students don't pull teeth. You are not trained to do those things. Number one, we want to safeguard the patient, okay? We want to safeguard you. We want to make sure that we are doing appropriate types of activities. Many students, millions of dollars are made off of the backs of gullible pre-med and pre-dental students who go on these trips, do things they should not be doing, come back and put it on their application for grad school. Grad schools don't want to see that. In fact, if you're a pre-dental and you put on your application that you pulled a tooth, I don't care how high your GPA is, I don't care how high your DAT score is, you will not get into dental school because you did something that was very unethical. Does that make sense? So you probably will get marketed to by a lot of these groups that will take you to the Congo where you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. Don't do it, okay? Medical schools, dental schools, PA schools, pharmacy schools know that is unethical. So the trips we offer are geared to keep the patient safe and to keep you safe. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're going to be doing a lot of public health, a lot of education of patients and things like that. How many of you speak Spanish? Good, Casey.
Oh, good. I'm
Locate
glad.
your Spanish speakers. That's awesome. If you speak Spanish, you'll be able to act as a translator. If you don't speak Spanish, don't worry. We will have translators there for you. Part of the fees that you pay pays for a flat fee at the guest house that includes your food, lodging, staff, transportation, things like that. Then we pay extra for the doctors and the dentists and the nurses that will be helping us and the translators. So for example, we pay $500 a week for a doctor. Yes, that's how much a doctor makes in the Dominican Republic, $500 a week. Is that crazy? Not a lot of money. And Solid Rock pays them more than they would make in their regular practice, so they always like to work for Solid Rock, okay? So we'll have 2 Dominican doctors with us the whole trip.
I think Nicole said we're going to have 1 dentist since we have 3.
One dentist, Dr.
pre-dental
Yaida,
students.
typically, she's a rock star. You will get a chance to rotate in to all of the stations. So you'll get a chance to help take vitals. If you don't know how to take a blood pressure, we would like you to learn now. It makes it easier than when you're in a room that is crowded. We don't use the automated blood pressure cuffs. We use regular blood pressure cuffs. You could even bring those to one of the classes and they can learn. How many of you feel real confident taking a blood pressure? Only a couple of you. Guess what? You get to teach. And that would be a good exercise to do your next meeting so they get familiar with it.
Okay.
If you have your own personal blood pressure cuff, feel free to buy it, to bring it, but watch it. Make sure it doesn't go to someone else. Then you'll get a chance to be in the consultation groups where you're with a translator and a healthcare provider, listening to the patient's concerns and helping to diagnose the patient. You'll also get a chance to rotate through pharmacy. We have these big pharmacy boxes that we'll set up and give out medication. That is where we also give out donations. Donations, can you imagine if we go to a country and we took a suitcase of Happy Factory toys and we open that suitcase and we just start giving those out? That is also very culturally inappropriate. We're going to be doing things very appropriately, and we don't want to exacerbate problems that these people have, which is they don't have a lot of stuff. And so guess what? We've done that before in the past. I've seen groups do that where we even lined kids up to come get a toy. We've even marked their hands, and they run home to wash off the mark and get back in line. We don't want to foster that kind of behavior. So toys, donations will be given out in the pharmacy in a brown bag, very confidentially, discreetly by a Dominican, okay? If you have personal donations that have been given to you and you want to get some pictures, Casey can help you facilitate getting pictures of those donations to give back to your donors. Then you'll get a chance to rotate through dental as well, and you'll get a chance to rotate through the home visits as well. I encourage you to spend some time over the 4 days in each of those places. One of you will be tapped to be the leader on this trip. Who is looking at the Rocky Vista Early Acceptance Program? Okay, Casey, those will be your leaders, okay, who will decide each day who goes where.
Guys up
We'll
for
talk
that?
about that. Okay, we'll be talking about that.
One thing, if you did get a scholarship, you probably know because I sent this email, but you'll want to take a picture of yourself or a group picture or something that you have on your personal device on the trip so that when we come back, you can come to my office, write a thank you note, give me the picture, and we can send that to the donor.
Of your scholarship.
Yes. Yep.
Phew, we covered an awful lot of stuff. What questions have you got for right now? Yeah?
So what kind of things will we be doing in the clinic exactly? Like you said, we're taking vitals or?
Diagnosing patients who come in. Remember, it's a typically public health type clinic. You'll be seeing a lot of patients who have parasites. Parasites are rampant in countries like this, and anti-parasite medication is given out on a regular basis at the schools. It's like worming your dog. Children receive this medication every 6 months, but sometimes in poor communities they don't get it. So you'll be doing a lot of parasite evaluation. You'll be giving out a lot of vitamins. You may see trauma. We had, depending on where your clinic is located, sometimes you'll go to a batey. A batey would be like a work camp place surrounded by the rice fields, and we've had people come in with machete things. We've had people who've had long-term accidents. You will see more motorcycles down there than you've ever seen in your life, more motorcycles than people. There are a lot of accidents that happen down there, so you'll see people who've had accidents, things like that. A little bit of everything, yeah. You won't be doing surgery, you won't be doing procedures of any sort. It's mostly a public health type clinic, okay? Coughs, people cook with stoves that are inside their homes, so they have a lot of, sometimes eye problems, things like that. What other questions have you got? Well, I am so excited, and I realized I said we. I'm not going with you. I wish I was going with you. I've been on probably over a dozen of the trips to Solid Rock, and it's an amazing organization. As you saw on their website, they were rated by Charity Navigator as a really good nonprofit organization, and that's one of the reasons we've used them for a long time. They take the money that is given to them by donations and they use it appropriately. Many charities don't, so we really like working with Solid Rock.
And every student that goes on this trip, I have not heard a single bad thing. I mean, they rave about how incredible their experience is. So
Yeah.
if you're a little nervous, that's okay.
Yeah.
It'll still be fun.
Anybody not been out of the country before? Okay. Anybody not been on an airplane before?
Well, that's good.
Last year, the
That'd be
student that got
scary.
sick, that had to stay back in the hospital, his mom had to fly to pick him up, that was his first airplane ride.
Oh my gosh. Bad experience.
It was not a good experience, but he made it, he survived, and that's why we're here. Casey and her sister, as I mentioned, will be your chaperones on this trip. It's going to be a good time. Let us know if you have any questions. Our next meeting will be?
Next week, same time, same place.
Okay, and we're going over
Same day.
health and, Groundhog's Day.
I'll remind you in an email.
Yep,
Yeah.
health and safety tips, and we'll be talking about the Days for Girls training, we'll be doing blood pressure training, so a little bit of all of those. Then we'll have one more meeting where we finish up that training, and then we'll be having kind of a packing party where you bring all your donations, or you can bring your donations into Casey's office right now if you don't want them closeted
Yeah,
into your
I mean,
vehicles.
that's totally fine. I have a few already in there. So, who has flown internationally recently? Okay, good. Because it's been a while. I've been to Italy and Aruba, but it's been a while. So
Yeah.
it'd be
When
good
you-
to have others.
When you go to check in, just to tell you, you have an electronic ticket. So you're not going to get a hand copy ticket before you go. We have a group reservation. What you'll do is you'll take your passport at the airport and you will scan it in a kiosk and it will pull up your itinerary. So that's how simple it is. So don't worry about not having a ticket to get to, when you get to the airport. Your passport will scan your name. It'll bring up your your seat assignment. It'll print out your boarding pass, and then you'll go up to the desk and check your bag.
Which is why we need all your information by Friday, so I can get that to you.
Ahead of time, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. I haven't got anything else, do you?
No.
Good.